TOA community, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Robert Linkul with trainingtheolderadult.com. This is Wednesdays with Robert, episode number 24. And today we got all kinds of different stuff to talk about. We are going to talk about the Wall Street Journal and a article that they put up in there. Hopefully, most of you have seen it at this point. If not, please spread the word. We want everybody to see that article. We're going to talk about the webinar that I am doing this coming Friday. If you haven't signed up for that, I'll show you where to sign up for that. It's free. We want as many people in this webinar as possible, as we are going to be talking about said article, but also the 5 exercises that I feel like are the most efficient to support the content that you hear about in that article. Again, we'll talk about it in a minute. We're going to talk about sleep. We're going to talk about creatine. We're going to talk about all kinds of good stuff. So without further ado, let's dive into this. So this is from the Institute of Clinical Excellence. Institute of Clinical Excellence. Yep, let me make sure I have that right. I love these guys. This is Dustin Jones and the team over there. They do a great job. If you're not signed up for that, you should sign up for their weekly webinar, their weekly newsletter. Great information. One of the posts in there is about this article inside the Washington Post. Yes, it is behind a paywall. You just need to put in your email address and you can get access to go in and look at it, as he talks about here in the article. I did the same thing, and you get to read the whole article and you have access to certain things now. And of course, you're going to get a billion emails asking you to sign up and to buy the Washington Post after, but it's worth it to read this one. Anyhow, they talk about these studies that were done, sorry for my kid screaming, that looked at 65 to 75-year-olds in a very effective way that they trained. Very simple, but here was 12 weeks. Look what we did. Here are the great gains we got. And then they looked at 85 and older adults and said, did that same strategy work for this group? The answer is yes. Ultimately leaving you with the answer. It's never too late to gain strength. It's never too late to improve yourself, even into your 9th or 10th decade, right, on this planet. And so on Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, if you can't join us live, still register and sign up, because you can watch the recording on demand whenever you want to. Just click on the link that you get as your registration for signing up, and it'll play for you. You can watch right there. Free webinar. We are going to dive deep into this article, but specifically into the exercises that they do, which are very, very simple. And if you do slightly more advanced versions of that with free weights in space here like we have, the gains will be significant, okay? Significant. And I'm going to take you through step by step each of those. It should be a very hands-on, kind of focused, demonstration-based webinar. So hopefully you get some good stuff out of that. We're going to dive into all the content, all the materials. So as much time as I'd like to spend on it right now, I'd rather you just sign up for the webinar. If you go to my Instagram, click on the link at the very top. It's a Robert, tree, whatever it is. It takes you to this thing. It's just right underneath my name. You'll see a little link for it. And it brings you to this page. And there's the free webinar, 5 ways to build muscle and strength. This is, again, targeted for older pops and such. And the trainers, click on that, register. It's free, and then you're good to go. If you want anything else that we provide, there's our new TOA shirts. That's our new TOA shirt with our Shingle Springs logo. Can you guys see it on the back here? Yep, that's our 2023 version. So you want to get one of our shirts, you can pop on there. We have our TOA Select method. We have our YouTube channel, all of our ambassadors, some of the podcasts that I've been on. Our fundraiser is still active until the end of the year for Fire Station 28 right up the road here. We're raising funds to improve their weight room. So you can check that out. And then a bunch of our sponsors and such that are on there. Again, these are not paid sponsors. These are product sponsors, people that we love and appreciate and use their products. So we put them on our website. Okay. So that gives you information about the webinar coming up, and that lifting weights as we age is a good thing. We all know that. This is another fairly hot topic here. And I'm going to recommend a brand and a product that I personally really like. Let me watch this. Let me see if I can do this. If I can do this live, how cool this would be. Let's see if she'll answer. I'm going to walkie-talkie my wife here really quick and see if she could bring out some of my products for me. Oh, she's not available. Come on, let me try one more time. See if I can get her to be available. Nope. All right, I'll text her. And this product, I really like these products. Can you bring out my Gainful stuff, please? Let's see if she'll bring that out for me. The company is called Gainful. They make a very good product. They have regular versions, they have vegan versions, all organic, etc. I really like that because it provides you a lot of different options. They have creatine, they have proteins, they have collagen, they've got all kinds of great stuff, okay? One of the hot topics that I get from a lot of, or hot questions I would take from trainers and the clients, what about creatine? Should I be taking creatine? How much should I take, etc.? And that one, but the other one, my regular stuff, if you could please. We have another box. It's a Christmas present for a buddy of mine. Thank you, love. And basically just getting a basic understanding of what creatine is. So in the old days, in the 90s, I will say, creatine was a little taboo. Nobody knew what it was going to be. Thank you so much. Nobody knew what it was going to be long term. People thought creatine would cause heart failure, would decrease bone density. Like basically it was the new version of steroids. Everybody was scared and worried about if they took it and if they took it for too long, should we do cycles? Was it just making me retain water? Was I actually getting stronger? All these different rumors, etc. I think the greatest concern was, what is the long-term effect of creatine and is it going to cause damage on the body? Well, we've had almost 40 years now of people taking creatine on the regular. And from what I've seen, long-term negative effects, the greatest one has been if you take too much of it, you get gastrointestinal issues. Basically, you get the squirts, if you know what I mean. And that is something that you can control by taking less or by taking the same amount, but taking, if you, let's say you're like, my doctor said I got to take 6 grams a day. Well, if you take 2, 2, and 2 throughout the day rather than all 6 at once, then that could have a better effect, that kind of a thing, okay? So here's Gainful, the company that I like to use. Again, I'm not paid by these folks. They don't even know who I am. I just really like their products. They are of good, high quality. There's their creatine, and they're on a little subscription menu where you can have it, sent to you every 30 days. There's the pre-workout, and they've got multiple different flavors and such that you can pick from. And they're very simple. Again, they have vegan options, regular, organic, etc., whatever you want. So the kind of the general suggestion of creatine nowadays, and I'm just going to use this as a very safe, suggestion, is anywhere from 3 to 5 grams on a regular basis, and not cycling, just kind of a consistent, intake of 3 to 5 grams a day, depending on the person's size, etc. Right? That's kind of a general instruction. In some of the more, specialized studies, they will do more, they'll do less. They'll do cycles where they'll take 30 grams a day, and they'll do that for 8 weeks, and you'll see all these huge effects, but then you've got to stop because it's too much. I'm like, what's just a consistent number that I can have, and then what is this benefiting me? So I can't specifically speak to the science and what creatine is doing to your body. All I know is the long-term effects are next to none, and the benefit that you're getting is it's a great tool to assist you in your recovery. That way, when you are able to resistance train, you can train your body quite a bit harder. That's where the combination of the collagen and the creatine, I think, work very well. And then if you want a pre-workout, which is basically going to have some caffeine in it to help kind of kickstart and kind of get you going, and some of them have sugar and some other things in there, but these ones, again, this one's pretty simple. It's got 500 milligrams of creatine in it, 1 carbohydrate, and then a whole bunch of enes, your leucine, aline, leucoline, valine, etc. These are multivitamins and minerals and such that they put in there. And then a natural caffeinated coffee roast seed that they have in there. Again, it's just caffeine with creatine and a couple other little things to assist you in kind of getting perked up for your pre-workout. Does everybody need to be doing these? Do they all need to be using this? No. If you, as this kind of suggests, if you're eating meat on the regular and you have a very colorful diet, meaning you're getting a lot of fruits and veggies and you're getting lots of fiber and you're getting, enough nutrients in your body, then you probably don't need to take a whole lot of supplements. But if you're not doing that, or if you minimize the amount, you're not taking as much meat into your body as you should, or if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, then there are some options here. And again, this collagen obviously is from bone, so you would not take that, even though I do believe there is a vegan version of collagen out there. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but I think there is. But I know they have a vegan option of creatine, and they have vegan proteins as well. They're obviously not from whey. They either come from soy or from oat or whatever else they get it from. And so you have options to create supplementation. And that's exactly what that word is if you're not getting it naturally through all your foods, then you would supplement that in. I personally don't like to consume massive amounts of meat. I do consume meat, but not in every single meal. And I don't get enough vegetables in my diet. I get a lot of fruit, tons of fiber, but I don't get enough vegetables. So I have a, what is it called? It's not AG1. It's the other version of that that we have. Let me ask Keith to bring that out too. Of course, in the moment. Can you bring out our greens, please? And I'll show you that one too. God, I'm totally blanking on the name of it. But I will supplement in with my vegetables. I'll mix that in with my smoothie or whatever else that I'm doing there. I think that's a good use of supplementation. So if you feel like you're not getting enough creatine, or if you need to supplement it in there, I would talk to your doctor first, of course. Thank you. I can't even remember the name of it. Thanks. Nanogreens. There you go. Nanogreens. Thanks, love. Nanogreens. This is a great one. Mix it right in with your smoothies, with orange juice, with water, with whatever you want, and shoot it. And you've got all this great stuff on the backside of there that really helps out quite a bit. All right. So talking about our supplements there kind of gives you a little idea. Again, multivitamins, daily vitamins, all of that. I think that's all great to do. And as we age, what is the great value of all this? Being able to maintain and challenge your body via resistance training, but also research is suggesting that there is a cognitive component to taking creatine that helps with cognition. Now we're looking at, I want to say 60 to 65s and over, and they were finding that there was a greater cognitive return. Okay, here we go. After 6 weeks of consumption, there was absolutely no treatment effect found in cognitive task performance or prefrontal cortex activation among any of the three groups. These were 19 to 33-year-olds, okay? But to note, there are other studies that suggested that there's great cognitive improvement for those of the older demographic, which is why they found at the bottom down here, although creatine is safe and beneficial for some, more evidence emerging seems mostly beneficial for folks who do not take regular or ever consume meat in older adults, especially those already diagnosed with functional cognitive impairments. So they're finding that individuals that may be early onset of Alzheimer's or having any kind of cognitive issues can definitely see a value in taking creatine on a regular basis. How much should you take which one? I'm going to leave that up to you. Talk to your doctors, see what you should take, when you should take it, how often you should take it. But there is some very good evidence to suggest that it would be very beneficial, not only for your body, but for your mind. Now, transitioning a little bit into sleep. We have talked about sleep probably in 2 or 3 other Wednesdays with Robert. I know I demonstrated in one of those how I sleep at night and how I use multiple pillows to kind of stack my knees and my hips and my feet and my head and basically create a standing posture in the horizontal plane, right? And that way it keeps you from folding your knees or folding your neck or folding your posture into a position that if you were standing up straight would really bother you. So one of the questions comes about too is, when should I do my exercise? And if I exercise in the morning, a lot of times I'm really tired because of my exercise. So then I end up taking a nap. Then I wake up and I'm refreshed and I'm energized and I'm not ready to go to sleep at night. So maybe I should exercise before I go to bed. Would that be beneficial? And 2 different things will occur with this. Number one, after you exercise, just like there's the runner's high, okay? When you get done running or through the process of running, you get this endorphin and hormonal response in your body that is rather euphoric. It feels great. You feel elevated and light and energetic and sharp and excited and good. And you're like, man, I feel like I've been, doing a little, like I'm shooting, I'm getting a little, woo! That's what I'm getting. You get that little bit. That's why they call it the runner's high. Not that I would know what any of that stuff feels like, even though my anatomical snuff box is appropriate. Totally joking, guys. I've never done anything like that. I always joke, though, about how that is called your anatomical snuff box because they used to put a little and then away they would go. That way they didn't do too much and they end up blacking out. But it's a great way to remember your anatomy, okay? I've had 0 drugs in my life other than over-the-counter ones my doctors prescribed. I promise. Cross my heart. Now, where was I going with that? Taking drugs. I don't remember what the hell I was talking about. Why did I get into that whole thing? The high, the runner's high. Okay, so you get that euphoric, high feeling of it. You can get that same thing with lifting weights. You can get that same thing with taking a walk. You can get that same thing by challenging your body in a way where your body has a hormonal response, okay? And that will come through physical challenge, temperature change, all of this that is typically accompanied by you pushing your body in a way that creates that endorphin release. Now, if you do that and you get that response, well, now you're all fired up and you're energetic and you're ready to go. Well, we go on about our day. We go and do all the other things and we carry that momentum with us. But if you get that lifter's high, which a lot of my clients do, and they go, man, I feel great for the next 30 minutes. And I'm like, so what do you do with that energy? And they're like, I sit on the couch. And then I go, and then what? And they're like, in about 45 to an hour, 60 minutes later, I'm tired and I want to take a nap. And I'm like, well, you created that response and then you didn't do anything with it, right? Every high is going to carry a low. But if you can keep stimulating your body and keep doing something you're carrying that momentum, it'll dissipate slower than if you just sit there and do nothing. It's going to spike and then it's going to crash. And so you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to just lay down and close my eyes for a minute. And then you do, and you end up taking a 90-minute nap and it's 10 a.m. And so now when you wake up from that nap, now you're fired up, okay? 60 to 90 minutes, you will get into a deeper REM sleep, which is a very restful sleep. And that's why they suggest if you're going to nap, make it 15 to 20 minutes so you can't get into that deeper REM sleep. And your mind is now saying, it's nighttime, let's shut this thing down, let's go to bed. But if you just do like 15 to 20 minutes, you get a little refresh. Your body goes, oh man, I got some time to kind of recharge and boom, let's pop back up and let's get ready to rock and roll. Totally doable, totally okay. Now let's say we do that whole thing, but it's now 8 o'clock at night. And now you're ready, to go to bed at 9. Well, I work out from 8 to 9 and I'm all fired up and I'm ready to go and I go and lay down in bed. Well, I've got 30 to 40 minutes of this euphoric high that I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. And your mind is racing, your mind's going, your body temperature is high, so you're probably sweating, right? You're not rested, you're not exhausted, you're not any of that to allow your body and the system to go, we need to shut down and recover from the day's exhaustion because you just did it, okay? So you lay there for 30, 40 minutes, and then you go, all right, I'm getting aggravated that I'm not sleeping, so then you decide to just get up. The other side of that is you're gonna have this little crash because you are just laying there. So sometimes you can just wait it out, but are you gonna get good restful sleep? That's to be debated. And that's what they suggest in this article is everybody's different and everyone will have different responses, but most folks do a better job exercising earlier in the day, not right before they go to sleep. But if they are going to do it at night, to give at least an hour, if not more, between the time you finish exercise and the time you decide, I'm going to attempt to go to sleep now. So you would want to work out at 7 until 8 or 7:45 or whatnot. And then at 9 o'clock, okay, now I could try to go to sleep. And that could be beneficial. I am so fired up, ramped up, energetic, excited after workouts. There's no chance I'm going to sleep. But if I just sat around for 45 minutes and then laid on the couch, I could probably take a pretty solid nap. At nighttime, I've had this entire day, I'm all exhausted from everything I did through the day. And then to say, let's try to go exercise, I am not up physically to be able to push myself that hard after an 8 or 10 or 12 hour workday. Kids, family, wife, friends, everything else going on, what we do. that now I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go physically push myself. At how hard will I train in here being that tired already versus I just slept for the night. Now I'm ready. I'm fresh. Let's get this really important thing checked off my box first thing in the morning so I don't have it lingering on my mind of I eventually have to do this at some point today. It's all of these things that can kind of build on your mind that end up hurting your consistency of exercise and now hurting the quality of sleep you're getting instead of working in your favor. So yeah, this is a couple years old, 2020, but I felt like it was a pretty appropriate article. How much exercise is helpful for sleep? So they kind of do talk about what we just talked about. They had a study where they broke up, I think, 3 different groups, people that exercised for 30 minutes, and then it was like 30 minutes after they tried to sleep, and another group that did 30 minutes in an hour, and then it was 30 minutes and then 90 minutes and something like that. And so it was the further the gap between exercise and their sleep pattern where they slept better. But the ones that worked out in the morning versus the ones that worked out at night had better sleep patterns at night. It was just, again, going with trends, but also the article does discuss that everybody is different and that, some of these practices may or may not work for you, etc. Okay? Other things they suggested that help with this: keep your sleep schedule consistent. There's so many great sleep apps now. I got the new Apple Watch that has a pretty inclusive sleep pattern and tracker. I don't know how accurate it is. What I know is it's consistently tracking whatever it's tracking for me. So I can see, okay, I got 6.5 hours. How much of it was high quality? How much of it was low quality? How much of it was REM sleep? How much of it was deep sleep? And I can see those breakdowns all the way through the night, day after day after day, week after week, and see my consistency. Is it exactly what I'm getting to the T? I don't know. It could be, it may not be. What it is giving me something is a consistent read where I can see, here's when my watch felt like I fell asleep, and here's when it did recognize that I was up and moving about and starting my day, and what did it track in between there. The Aura rings can do it for you. I don't have one, but a lot of our clients do. They really like them. There's another one that's a strap that you put around your other wrist, and you wear that one. I forget what that's called. There's all kinds of different services out there and different products that can help you track your sleep, but also set schedules. I get an alert at 6 o'clock that says 2 hours until bedtime. I get another one at 7 o'clock that says 1 hour till bedtime, start your pre-sleep routine, which for us is kids get showered, we get showered, everybody brushes their teeth, we all lotion up our feet and our hands and whatever, things we need to do beforehand. I put on my CBD oil on my hip and my muscle butter on my shoulders and blah, 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 right? We go through all that stuff. And then we get in bed, we read, we get everybody to sleep, and then Keegan and I have about a half hour where we watch a show or we chat or we do whatever we're gonna do. And then right at 8 o'clock, it's pretty much lights out. And then at 2 a.m., I'm up and I'm off and I'm running and I got my 6 hours of sleep and I'm ready to rock. Anything more for me causes more harm to my body. Anything less, I don't have enough rest and I don't feel ready to go. I've learned my schedule and I know what works for me and what doesn't through tracking consistencies like this. Okay. Avoid electronics and devices before bedtime, at least 30 minutes. I think that's a good one. A lot of the screen lights and such, we have on our laptop that we watch in bed. We've got the screen set to the non-blue light, whatever that version is, and it's rather dim, so it doesn't do the stimulation to whatever it does to your brain to make you stay awake. Creating the routine that's very relaxing before bedtime, and it is pretty relaxing for us. Though the kids are like fired up and ready to roll, we all get on the bed at 6:30 and we start shower time at 6. Everybody gets cleaned up by 6:30. We play Uno together as a family. We all play a card game for a half an hour. And then at 7, we go brush our teeth, lotion, do all that stuff, and everybody goes to bed. That whole thing brings everybody's energy down. Even though we're playing a game and we can have some fun and make jokes, we're not running around, we're not wrestling, we're not doing anything that's spiking our energies, right? We're leveling everything down. So that's good. Reducing noise pollution. This can be anything, right? From loud noises outside, music, television, etc. And then using something like a fan, an air conditioner, a white noise thing that can drown those things out for you to make it more of a mellow environment, or by shutting all of that stuff off where you have pure silence. Some people want pure silence. My wife would love it if our house was just silent. For me, I have some type of, I think it's called tinnitus in your ear, where I have this constant, it never goes away. And if I don't have some kind of noise, we have a little tiny fan. I even travel with one. I have a little fan that I put next to my bed where I just get this little hum of the fan and I don't hear that ringing in my ear. But I used to, as a kid, I had to have a television on or the radio on or something. If I'm at a hotel and I don't have my fan, I have to turn on a sleep app on my phone that's just got a little, the raindrops or an air conditioning unit that hums something. I need something that will drown out this little bit of ringing in my ears. And a lot of people have that, like 30% of the population have this same issue. So learning those things can help you in your sleep. And then finding comfortable temperatures. This could be from partner to partner. My wife has 2 extra blankets on her side of the bed. I use half the 1 or 2 blankets I have on my side. My legs are typically exposed the entire night. I've got the blanket over the top half of my body and that's it, right? That's how I stay cool at night and how she stays warm at night. You got to learn all these little patterns, these little things that you do. Getting comfortable, using pillows, whatever it takes, make sure you're comfortable. Heavy meals before bedtime. We try not to eat like 2 to 3 hours before we go to sleep. We are so old, but we eat dinner at like 4, okay? Literally, we eat at 4 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it's off to shower, games, pre-bedtime, 7:30, we're in bed. So if I'm asleep by 8, I've had 4 hours between the last time that I ate and the time that we finally go to bed. When I wake up, I'm hungry, but I've also had a 12-hour fast almost, or a 10-hour fast. I then exercise on my fast, which I like to include, but I can't do more than about 15 hours, right around there, because I also do have medications I take. Right around there, I'm ready to put food back in my stomach and get my day rolling. This works well for me. Again, different for everybody, okay? So avoiding those heavy meals, little snacks, different, but heavy meals before bed. Try to do a couple hours, at least 2, maybe 3. Avoid nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, definitely caffeine before bed. You don't want anything to ramp you up. Try to bring stuff that's good for you, kind of coming down. And then keep your naps short, just like we talked about earlier. 20, maybe 30 minutes. Try not to get into that deep routine sleep. So working out before bedtime has usually been discouraged. It was also thought that exercising later in the day could make it harder to fall asleep and have a good night's sleep. However, recent studies have found that moderate intense exercises won't impact your sleep if you complete it at least 1 hour before your bedtime, okay, as we talked about. On the other hand, strenuous physical activity just before bed may have a negative effect on your sleep. That includes running, high-intensity interval training, also high-intensity resistance training, and heavy lifting weights. Everyone is different, though. The best time to be active is the time that works best for you. You just won't know that until you try it and do it on a regular basis a couple of days and see whatever works best. The bottom line is you find a routine that really works well and it gives you the best opportunity to exercise, to sleep well, and to recover and be able to do that on a regular basis. But if you're not providing yourself a reason to be tired to go to sleep, you're gonna have sleep issues, okay? Knock on wood, I don't have any sleep issues. My clients, a lot of them, don't have any sleep issues in terms of they can go to sleep and they can stay asleep in terms of their body wanting to rest because they are physically tired from their day of activity. They don't just sit and watch television or sit and work on their computer. They are up and active and doing. So at the end of the day, they're like, holy hell, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. They can't wait to put their head down on the pillow and they're out like that because they've worked so hard through the day. Their body has a reason to rest. But if you haven't done anything to stress or stimulate or cause this high energy output, what are you coming down to then rest? Your entire day has been a level 2. You never got up to a 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's no reason for that 2 to go, well, let's lower down and go to sleep now. You're either slightly awake or just asleep. But those are so close to each other, right? You need to be, I'm awake kicking ass, now I'm out in a coma. I'm awake kicking ass, I'm out in a coma. Like it needs to be that big of a fluctuation every day. And a lot of individuals that I have a hard time sleeping, I just can't sleep, they're not doing enough during their day to stimulate this demand, right, for them to want to go, let me get a good night's sleep. Now, I do have a lot of clients that have a hard time staying asleep because of a physical limitation. Their knee hurts, their back hurts. That's where some of these routines come in of, let me find comfortable positions. Let me find this routine that will help me sleep better, right? And then they start to stay asleep longer. But the act of falling asleep and getting 4 or 5 hours in Majority of our clients, especially all those ones that are exercising and still being active through their day, they get 4 or 5 hours of really good, solid sleep. It's their bodies that start to ache after being in improper positions or dealing with something on a regular basis, that my shoulder hurts, my knee hurts, my something hurts. And that is actually what will wake them up and then cause the disturbance in their sleep patterns. So if you can find some ways to accommodate the limitation, your sleep will then benefit in a positive way. The demand put on your body daily will assist you in sleeping well at night. The creatine or other supplementations put into your body will help you recover and help your body nourish while asleep. So when the next day you're ready to perform and work at its best, you're not overly sore. A lot of those you're taking to are helping recovery in your joints, your ligaments, your tendons. They're helping lubricate your joints and helping move your body, making your body more fluid and more consistent so you can have better blood flow, better oxygenated delivery to the distal ends of your hands, your feet, your better bowel movements, your better cognition, your better sex life, your better sports performance, all across the board. It's all connected. So that's why tracking these things and seeing all these things and trying some of these things are so important for us, especially as we age, because our bodies are getting more used as we age. We need to take better care of them. I saw a 100-year-old truck, fire truck, whatever it was, in this parade that we went to over the weekend. And whoever had taken care of this thing, it looked old, like old design, but brand new. I mean, it was perfect paint, perfect chrome. The seats looked great. It was so taken care of. And on the front of it, it said 1921. And you're like, that thing's 102 years old. And it looked great. Someone took care of this aging body because they valued it. And now it's still performing great. And then a little later in the parade, we saw a truck, kind of like an early delivery truck, beat to shit and barely moving, and had a tow strap on the front from another car pulling it along. And it was like 1953, and you're like, that thing's not that old, right? It's only 60 or 70 years old or whatever it is. No one took care of it. No one put in the effort to preserve this as this aged. Our bodies work similar, and that's why there's always these car analogies, right? With our bodies is whatever you're putting into it will help it perform, but also how are you taking care of it? Just because we're getting older, it doesn't mean you have to become this fall risk, declining, slipping, small statured, small postured, blah, blah, blah. We have plenty of examples of individuals in our life right now that are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and still have good muscle mass, still have great posture, are not a fall risk, are not frail, are not losing their independence. They're still thriving and capable of doing anything and everything that they want to do in this stage of their life. And that's exactly why I do this webinar, why I do this podcast, why I do these weeklies, is to be able to provide you that information that helps you and your clients or your individuals in your life with assisting them in pursuing that goal. We're constantly in battle with sarcopenia, and that's why I end every single video with this. I'm Robert Linkul. Thank you for joining us today. I love and appreciate all of you because our world needs more love. We have plenty of negativity and hate and bad things going on in our world. So I want to bring as much love and positive energy and light to you as I can. And I also want to encourage you to continue your good fight against sarcopenia, because our bodies, you got one shot with this thing. It's all we have to carry us through life. And I want you to take as much good care of it as you can. Until next time, my friends, thank you for being here. I'm Robert Linkul. I appreciate you and I love you. Any comments, hit me up down in the comment section. And until next time, please continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia. Peace.